Okay guys, we are looking at your navigation panel. The navigation panel that you have here is made up with an AC panel and a DC panel together. So we'll start with your AC panel. So for now your boat is plugged into shore power and your AC panel have power coming to it. If you look, we have the battery charger on and your AC outlet on. We have your water heater off. When you need hot water, you turn it on. When you don't need it, you turn it off. Also, you'll get hot water when your engine is running. That's when you're not on shore power. So that's it for your AC panel. Also, you can get power through the outlets, through the inverter. So now we're going to turn all these breakers off. We undo the shore power, and we're going to put your inverter on so you can see how to use your inverter. To turn your inverter on, just press the button here and hold it. A light will come on here to tell you it's on. And now you turn your AC outlets on and you'll get power around the boat. Please, whenever you're using your inverter, make sure your engine is running. So in that way, whatever power you're drawing from your battery, you're putting it in back. Now you want to turn your inverter off, turn the outlets off, and press the power button for your inverter. It comes off. Now because we're on shore power now, we will turn battery charger on and the AC outlet back on. Now we're going to move to your DC panel. The DC panel is very straightforward. Whatever you need, you put them on. What you don't need, you turn them off. So let's start with the battery bank here. Surface battery bank. If you put this switch to the port side, it will show you the voltage of your battery. As you can see, it's showing you 13.5. I mean, your battery bank is full. Let's have a look at your engine battery bank. And it's also full. Cabin lights. You can turn this on, and you have individual switches around to turn lights on and off. Anchor light, you can put your anchor light on. Sailing light, you have your sailing light. Also you have your motoring light. That's your navigation light. If you don't need it, turn it off. Have a deck light. Navigation instruments are outside. Fridge, the fridge that you have on board is a 12-volt system. Once you turn it on, you leave it on. If your battery gets low, it will shut itself off. As you charge your batteries up back, it comes on automatically. This is another spare breaker here. It's an ALG Wi-Fi, so you can turn it on so you can get Wi-Fi. When you have a look, here it goes, there's Wi-Fi. And when you don't need it, you turn it off. Freshwater pump. Your freshwater pump is a self-priming pump. As it primes your system, it shuts itself off. So now I'm going to turn it on. System is primed, pump turn itself off. If I were you guys, turn it off. Why? Because this boat only have one water tank. So you don't want to have a leak and have the pump running. Please turn your freshwater pump off when you're not using it. Belch pump. The belch pump that you have here, you have an automatic float switch with it and also a manual override. So if you look here, this is automatic and this manual override. When you're not using it, turn it off. That's it for your AC and DC panel. So now we're going to move to your fusion player. To turn your music on, press power. Music comes on. Also, this is, you can play with your auxiliary input, which is here. And yeah, you only have this one don't have a Bluetooth with it. You have an USB plug, which is here. I'm going to turn this one off back. VHF. To turn your VHF on, you press your power button. Whenever you turn it on, sometimes it says OK, so you have to press OK, and it will go to channel 16. Everyone monitor on channel 16, and then they tell you which channel to switch to, 68 or 71. When you're not using it, turn it off. Also, when you're sailing, please have your VHF on. I'm going to turn it off. To the left here, you have your fuel gauge. Once you press this, it will show you how much fuel you have. So, let's have a look. So, it's moving up. You usually leave with a full fuel tank. So that's it for your navigation panel. Also, if you look here, you have a air conditioner remote to turn your air condition on and off. So I'm going to turn it on in a second. Let me plug in. Okay, to turn your air conditioner on, you press your power button. It comes on there, and make sure you keep it on cool and heat. You can set your temperature, bringing it down, or you can carry it up. Also, you can set your fan to whatever speed you need, or automatic. Here is your bilge pump. This is your deepest part of your boat. So this is where you must have a look every morning before you set sail, and also maybe every night before you go to bed. So we're going to check and make sure that the pump is working. There's a little bit of water in there, so I'm going to do the manual override. As you can see, the pump it out. I'm going to turn it off, and your bilge is dry. So please check your bilge in the morning and in the afternoon. Okay, we are looking at your battery switches here. If you look at the battery switch, you will see two red ones and a black one. The black one is the common ground, or the negative, for all the batteries. You have battery 1 over here, which is the red one, that's your engine battery, and the other one here is your house battery bank. So they all should be in their on position. To turn it off, it will be this, it's off, and this is on. Again, you don't have to mess with it, leave them alone. The batteries are isolated from each other. Also, you have your windlass breaker here. If you were bringing your anchor chain up or down and it suddenly stopped working on you, it means that your windlass breaker is tripped. To reset, slide it down. That's for your switches and your breakers here. Okay, what you're looking at here is your port aft cockpit locker, where you can get access to it from the cockpit or also in from your shower. So what you have in here, you have a secondary anchor, you have your bucket, you have a dinghy pump, you have your emergency tiller rudder handle, also you have a life jacket, and you can store your fenders and line in here when you leave. So this is a nice deep locker for you to put anything that you need to. Storage locker. We're gonna be lighting your stove here and oven. First, you're gonna have to turn your solenoid on, or solenoid switch. Make sure you have matches on board. First, you light the match first. Push the burner knob in that you're going to light and turn. Keep holding it in. Hold on a couple of seconds for the thermocouple to heat up. Let's try the next one. Again, we're going to hold it on a couple of seconds. And both burners is working. If you want to turn it off, we're just turning the knobs off. We're going to light the oven also. Again, take this bottom plate a little bit out. First, you light the match first again. Push the burner knob in, turn, which is the oven knob this time. Hold it in a couple of seconds for your thermocouple to heat up. Maybe 8 to 10 seconds. After 8 to 10 seconds, you can release. It's working. Now you want to cook, you put this back in. Finish cooking, turn it off. When you completely finish cooking, go to your solenoid switch, gas switch, and turn it off. It's off. Okay, here is your engine. You don't have to do nothing much with your engine here. We would like you to have a look at it every morning and see no oil or no diesel, anything is leaking to the bottom here. But what you're looking at here, you're looking at your main belt, which is your drive belt, and you have your raw water pump belt, which is this one here. Also, you have your oil dipstick here. If your oil pressure is low, an alarm gonna come on, so you don't have to really check nothing here. The only thing we would like you guys to know, how to manually stop your engine. To manually stop your engine, there's a fuel shut off on the other side, which we're gonna have to go around and show you that. Just now I told you about the red rubber boot to manually shut your engine off. This is your manual fuel shut off. If you look here, put your finger on it, push it forward to the engine, it will stop your engine. Also, this is your throttle cable here. For some reason, your throttle cable breaking you can come here and do this. This is your manual throttle or revolution. What you have here, you have a manual toilet. If you look here, you will see an empty bowl and a wet bowl. The valve should always be on the empty bowl when you want to use it. It will always have a little bit of water inside it. You do your business in here and you pump it out dry. As your stuff disappears from the bowl, it will still be in the line. You bring your lever over to the wet side or towards the bowl and give it 10 to 12 pumps. After 10 to 12 pumps, put it back and leave it on the dry bowl, and it's ready for someone else to use it. Okay, we're gonna start your engine up now. To start your engine, you want to make sure your gear shifter is in neutral. So this is your gear shifter unit here. To know what's neutral, if your button can go in, that's neutral. With the button in and you push it forward or backward, you will be disengage your transmission and you'll only get the revolution. If you bring it back to neutral, the button will pop out. Now if you go forward, your boat will go forward, neutral, and reverse. So now we want to start our engine up. Again, before we start your engine, make sure it's in neutral. Turn your ignition on, which is your power button, and press start. Once your engine started up, first thing you do is to listen for water come through your exhaust. That's your raw water cooling system. Or you can also look for it. You will see water comes out from the exhaust. So now we're gonna do neutral and forward and reverse. So I disengage my transmission and I put it forward. I get a revolution. You guys gonna have to run your engine 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the evening at 1500 RPM. With the button in, you disengage your transmission and that way you will get your RPM up. Now if I bring it back to neutral, my red button would pop out. Now if I go forward and RPM. Neutral, reverse, and RPM. Please do not shift from forward directly straight to reverse. Bring it to neutral, count 1, 2, 3, then you shift into reverse. When you finish, put it back to neutral. You want to stop your engine, you press the stop button, engine stop, and then you press your power button to turn ignition off. That's it. So you have a manual belch pump here. The handle for it is in the carpet locker. We're going to show you a little bit. Emergency tiller rudder handle. This is the access cap for it. You take a winch handle, open this, move it away, and stick your emergency tiller handle inside to steer your boat in case if your steering breaking you. We have your Raymarine multifunction display here. We have the depth, speed, wind, and autopilot. So we're going to look at your depth and speed. If you look here, it shows 9.7 feet, 0 speed, because we are not moving, and your wind, where the wind is coming from. Whatever depth they show, you're going to add 2 feet to it, and that's your true depth. That's your transducer is 2 feet below the water line. There's an up and down arrow here, so we can move it. That will show speed. I'll show you position, like radar, and that's depth. So if you want to leave it on the depth page alone, but you get big numbers, which is a good idea. Now we're going to go to your autopilot display. Right now your autopilot is on standby, so if I move the wheel around, you will see your rudder indicator here. This is your rudder indicator. To use an autopilot, it's very easy and straightforward. Point your boat straight where you're going and hit auto, and it will have it into your heading position. If you want to bring it off a little bit, you can plus 10 or minus 10 or fine tune 1, 2 or 3 degree. When you don't want to use it, hit standby so you can steer again manually. That's it for your Raymarine display. You have here, you have your windlass, and a remote goes with it. To operate your windlass, make sure your engine is running. You press down, and it will go down. To bring it up, press up, and it will come up. Now whenever you're bringing your chain up, you're going to have to stop and move it out a little bit from here, and then come again up. Because if you don't do that, it will jam itself up here, and then you can't operate it. Please, go easy and move it away. You have about 150 feet of chain here, where there are 50 feet of road on it. Your chain is marked at every 25 feet. With a boat like this, whenever you're anchoring, you should at least be in 20 feet of water, then you drop your anchor. The float yellow mark that comes up, that will be 100 feet. it means that's 5-to-1 scoop. When you drop your anchor overnight anchorage, you have a snubber or a shock absorber that you hook it on onto your chain like this, let it out. When you let it out all the way, you'll have 2 bitter ends, and you clean it off onto your 2 clips. So this would be a shock absorber and a snubber. Finish. Make sure you secure your remote properly so the chain is not on it, and close the locker back. Okay, your head seal. To pull your head seal out, you release your drum roller furling line, keep a slight tension on it, and you pull on the jib sheet. To bring it in, you do the opposite. By release your jib sheet and pull on your furling line. You can also reef it by pull part of it in or part of it out. We are looking at the jammers here and the lines. The lines that we have here, we have a spare halyard, we have the main halyard to pull your mainsail up, you have your second reef, and you have your traveler. Over on this side here, you have the traveler line, you have a vang, your first reef, and top inlet. Now let's talk about the main halyard. Your main halyard is we're going to pull your mainsail up. Whenever you're pulling your mainsail up, point your bow straight into the wind. So whenever you're pulling your main halyard up or your mainsail up, the sail bottom doesn't get caught between the lazy jack lines here. Because this boat have a lazy jack system. The reef line. The reef lines are a single reef. If you pull on the first reef or the second reef, if you pull the second reef, it will pull the front and the back down at the same time. So it will make it one line. It's a single reef system. Okay guys, we have a drop down transom. To get it down, you open the bolt and push it a little bit, but keep attention on this line here so that you can use the weight of it to get it down. Once it's done, you can go on it, you go for a swim. When you finish, to bring it up back, pull on the same line that you let it down with, up. Once it's all the way up, put the bolt back in so it's secure. Okay, what we have here, we have a swim shower. To get it out, you see shower head here. You have a button that you press on it for you to get water. You have an on and off switch here for it, or a valve. Also you have a mixer here, so you can get hot or cold water here. Turn it, and you can mix it around. When you're not using it, turn it off. Also, put it back in nice and gently. Whenever you're using it, make sure that when you pull it out, do not pull it all the way out. Because what happens sometimes, the hose will kink and then you'll get no water. So just make sure it's all the way like this. If it ever kink on you, push a little bit back in so you can straighten it so you'll get water from your shower head. You finish, put it back nice and easy so that you can get it back when you're ready to use it again. And close the cap. My name is Anthony. You're gonna have my telephone number during the trip. So if you have any question or any problem with the boat, you could call me on 541-0336. It's only for business.